Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be focusing on Membranophone Musical Instruments Makers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we're going to get you prepped for an interview for this unique craft,
All right.
using some insider tips and some practice questions from our friends over at RoleCatcher.
Love it.
So what is it that a Membranophone Musical Instruments Maker does?
Well, obviously they make drums, but it's so much more than that. It's
Right.
a really unique blend of creativity and technical skill. And, you have to have a good ear for quality control and that perfect resonance.
It's a lot of artistry.
It is a lot of artistry, and there's a variety of work environments where you might find this kind of role. So you might
Okay.
find people working in small workshops or maybe larger factories.
Interesting.
You might even find them in music stores.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
So there are a lot of pros and cons that the guide lists about this career, but I think one of the coolest things is that it's such a unique niche.
Definitely, yeah.
It's not your everyday job.
All right, so let's dive into some of these interview questions because RoleCatcher really gave us some good ones.
Yeah.
The first one that they list here is, how did you become interested in making membranophone musical instruments?
That's a great question. And this is your chance to really show your passion to the interviewer.
Okay.
You don't want to just list your experience here. You really want to connect your story to the craft itself.
So,
Like, what was it about the sound or the materials or even just the history of these instruments that really drew you to them?
Yeah.
I think it's important to briefly mention your relevant training here, but I would really focus on letting your genuine interest shine through.
Yeah, I think that's great advice because, if you're genuinely interested in it, that will come across.
Definitely. And, they might even follow that up with a question like, what was the first instrument that drew you in? Or, is there a particular musical tradition that inspires you? So
Right.
if you have those stories prepared, you're going to be a lot more prepared to paint a really vivid picture for them.
Yeah, okay, great. And I also really like that RoleCatcher has that AI feature
Yes.
that can analyze job descriptions to suggest relevant details from your experience that you could weave into your answers.
Exactly. It's like having a personalized prep team at your fingertips.
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, so moving on to question number 2.
All right.
This one's, what experience do you have in designing and building membranophone instruments?
All right, so this is kind of a show don't tell situation.
Well,
I really think you need to name the specific instruments that you have experience with.
Okay.
Like, have you crafted a djembe with intricate carvings? Or maybe you've made a badran with a specially treated goat skin?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you really want to describe those materials that you've worked with and that you've mastered from different types of wood to different membranes. Even, if you've experimented with synthetic materials, you should mention that.
Yeah.
I think it's really about demonstrating your methodical approach and your focus on quality.
That makes sense.
But even if you have limited experience, you can still answer this question well by highlighting any transferable skills that you have.
Okay.
Maybe you've restored antique furniture, which would show that you have woodworking precision, or you've done some leather work, which would show that you can work with delicate materials.
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question here is, how do you ensure the quality of the instrument that you make?
So this one's all about attention to detail.
Right.
You need to walk them through your entire process of making an instrument.
Okay.
So do you use a special tensioning technique for drum heads, or do you use a digital tuner for the pitch, or even something more modern like spectrograms to analyze the vibration patterns?
Wait, hold on. Spectrograms.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little?
So basically it's like a visual fingerprint of the sound.
Okay.
So you can actually see how the instrument vibrates, and you can make tiny adjustments to get the best tone.
Wow, that's really cool.
It's a great way to blend traditional techniques with modern technology.
Yeah, so you're not just building, you're really crafting an instrument.
Exactly. And you're going above and beyond to meet those high standards.
Definitely. Okay, so question number 4 is, how do you stay current with new design trends and techniques in the field of membranophone instrument making?
I love this question because it really shows the interviewer that you're engaged and you're interested in the evolution of the field. So, do you subscribe to any drum making journals? Do you go to any industry conferences like the Percussive Art Society International Convention?
Oh, yeah.
Are you part of any online communities where makers share their innovations and new techniques?
Right.
I bet RoleCatcher has some resources for this too.
Oh, I bet they do.
They do. They have a whole database that can connect you to publications and organizations and even online forums.
Okay.
And it can even do it based on the job location that you're looking for. So you
Right.
can really tailor your answers to be super specific.
That's awesome. Okay, so this kind of goes along with that, but let's say they ask you, tell me about a recent trend that excites you and how you might incorporate it into your work.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think this is a great opportunity to show off your passion for the future of the craft.
Okay.
So maybe you're really interested in new composite materials for drum heads that are really durable and give a unique sound.
Oh, cool.
Or maybe you're experimenting with 3D printed components to get some really innovative designs.
Awesome.
I think it's about balancing a respect for traditional methods with a thirst for innovation.
I love that. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about client interaction.
All right.
So RoleCatcher lists this question. How do you approach custom instrument requests from clients?
All right, so this is a really important question because it shows that you understand that building an instrument is about more than just, putting the pieces together. It's about understanding the client's vision for the instrument. So walk them through your process from the initial consultation to sketching designs to how you get feedback from the client and how you incorporate it.
Yeah. And I bet you have some good stories about those challenging custom requests.
Oh, definitely. I have plenty of those.
Yeah.
I once had a percussionist who wanted a frame drum that had a very specific tonal range.
Wow.
Yeah. And they wanted it to have a visual aesthetic that was inspired by ancient cave paintings.
Oh, wow.
So it was a real challenge.
I bet.
But we worked together and we experimented and we actually ended up creating something that exceeded their expectations.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so stories like that show that you can problem solve and that you're committed to client satisfaction.
I love that. Okay, so the next question is, how do you balance the need for creativity with the demands of commercial production?
So this one can be tricky.
Yeah.
But you can definitely answer it well.
Uh,
It's about proving that you can thrive in a fast-paced work environment without sacrificing the quality of your work. So explain how you manage your time. Maybe you use project management software to stay organized.
okay.
Describe your workflow and highlight how you work efficiently but without cutting corners.
Yeah.
And I think it's helpful to give a concrete example of a time when you successfully balanced those two things.
Right.
Like one time I had a big order of custom djembes for a dance troupe,
Okay.
but at the same time I was also working on a prototype for a new type of handpan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a lot to juggle, but I broke down each project into smaller steps and I delegated some tasks and I ended up meeting all the deadlines without sacrificing any of the quality.
That's awesome. It shows that you can handle the pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a big one. What do you consider to be the most important qualities for a successful membranophone musical instruments maker?
So you want to go beyond just the technical skills.
Okay.
Talk about things like your passion for sound and your ability to hear nuances that other people might miss. You want to talk about your problem-solving skills because, like we've talked about, every instrument presents unique challenges.
Right.
And you also want to highlight your client rapport because building trust with clients is crucial for custom work.
Definitely. And it's important to tie those qualities back to your own strengths and experiences.
For sure. And RoleCatcher actually has an interview practice tool that can help you rehearse this answer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it can help you identify areas where you can add specific examples to make your answer even stronger.
That's awesome. Okay, so last question for this section is, what is your experience working with different materials, such as metal or wood?
Okay, so this is your chance to show how versatile you are.
Okay.
So list the materials you're comfortable working with and what their specific uses are in instrument making.
Okay.
You can talk about hardwoods like mahogany for djembes or different metals for handpans. You want to show them that you understand the subtleties of each material.
Now, what if you specialize in one material like wood?
Then you really want to highlight the unique properties of that material and show that you have a deep understanding of it.
Okay.
You can talk about the challenges you face, like choosing the right wood for the right sound and making sure the quality is consistent, even though wood can vary a lot.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's all about showing your expertise.
Okay, great. We've covered a lot of ground here, but there's still more to discuss.
For sure.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll delve into career progression and how RoleCatcher can help you navigate this unique career path.
Sounds good. All right, so we've talked about some of those tough interview questions, but let's talk about the career path itself.
Okay.
So RoleCatcher's guide outlines 3 main stages in this career.
Okay.
You've got entry-level junior and senior Membranophone Musical Instruments Maker.
Okay.
Each level builds on the one before it, and each level gives you more responsibilities and more creative freedom.
Oh, cool. So it's like a natural progression.
Yeah, exactly. You start by learning the basics,
Yep.
and then you gradually take on harder challenges.
Makes sense.
So at the entry level, you're really focused on those building blocks. You might
Yeah.
be assembling parts,
Mm-hmm.
stretching and attaching membranes, doing basic quality checks, and most importantly, learning from those experienced makers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like your apprenticeship.
Right.
You're honing your craft. You're developing a keen eye for detail.
So then what about the junior level? What kind of responsibilities do you have there?
So as a junior maker, you're going to be doing more independent tasks.
Okay.
You might be creating and assembling parts with more precision.
Okay.
You'll probably be doing more advanced quality checks using specialized tools,
Uh-huh.
and you might even help to design new instruments.
Oh, wow. So you're not just following instructions anymore. You're actually shaping the instruments themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, you get to be more creative.
That's awesome. Okay, so then how do you get to that top level, the senior level?
So to be a senior Membranophone Musical Instruments Maker, it takes more than just technical skill. Okay.
You need to be a leader,
Uh-huh.
you need to be a mentor, and you need to have a deep understanding of all the nuances of the craft.
Okay.
So at this level, you'll be leading the whole creation and assembly process.
Wow.
You'll be guiding those junior makers, making sure everyone's meeting those high-quality standards. You'll be collaborating on innovative designs. You're basically mentoring the next generation of craftspeople.
That's amazing. So it sounds like it's the culmination of all those years of hard work.
It is, yeah.
Where you're not just building instruments, you're shaping the future of the field.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. But how do you actually get there?
So the guide really emphasizes the importance of hands-on experience.
Okay.
Things like apprenticeships, workshops, collaborations with experienced makers.
Right.
Those are all crucial for becoming a master.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's about always trying to learn new things, refining your skills, and immersing yourself in the community of instrument makers.
Yeah, I bet RoleCatcher can help with that. They have a platform that connects you with apprenticeships and workshops led by master craftsmen.
Wow.
And it can even show you potential collaborations with other makers in your area.
That's incredible.
It's all about building your network and getting those real-world experiences that will help you move forward in your career.
That's a game changer. I love that it's not just about finding a job. It's about building a career that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the interview questions. We've talked about the career path. And we've even touched on some resources that can help you along the way.
Yeah.
But I think what's really standing out to me is this blend of tradition and innovation.
Yeah, it's fascinating, right?
Yeah, you have these ancient instruments like the djembe and the bodhran that have been played for centuries.
Yeah, they carry so much history and culture with them.
But then there's also this drive to create new sounds and new designs.
It's like the instruments themselves are evolving.
I love that.
Think about drum heads, They used to be made from animal hides that were prepared very carefully. But now we have modern synthetic materials that have amazing tonal qualities.
Wow.
Or, people are using lasers to cut wood now and digital tuners to fine-tune the frequencies.
That's so cool. It really shows the creativity of humans.
Yeah, that desire to honor the past, but also push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's amazing. So for someone who's drawn to music and craftsmanship, this career path really offers something special.
It does. It combines artistic expression and technical skill.
Right. And there's that satisfaction of creating something with your own hands.
Exactly. And creating something that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, something that moves people.
Yeah. It's a really special feeling.
It does sound like a calling more than a job.
It does.
But what about someone who's just starting out? They might be feeling a little intimidated by the whole thing.
Yeah, I understand that, but I would say don't be afraid to just jump in. The most important thing is that you're passionate and that you're willing to learn.
Right.
You don't need a formal degree.
Okay.
Although some woodworking or instrument making courses can be helpful.
Yeah.
But really what matters is that you have that spark of enthusiasm and that you're dedicated to honing your craft.
And you're not alone in this journey.
Right.
There are resources like RoleCatcher that can help you.
Absolutely.
They can connect you with mentors and opportunities and help you take those first steps.
Yeah, they have so much information on training programs, apprenticeships, and they can even connect you with potential employers who are looking for talented makers.
That's awesome. So for our listeners who are feeling drawn to the world of membranophone instruments, what are some key takeaways they should keep in mind as they explore this path?
Okay, so first and foremost, never underestimate the power of passion.
Yes.
This isn't just a job, it's a calling.
Okay.
Let that enthusiasm shine through in everything you do, in every instrument you create, in every step you take.
Love that passion is contagious.
It is, and it opens doors.
So what else?
Embrace continuous learning.
Okay.
This field is always evolving.
Right.
New materials, new techniques, new sounds are always emerging.
Yeah.
So go to workshops. Read those specialized publications that RoleCatcher recommends.
Okay.
Connect with other makers online and in person.
Yeah.
Just never stop exploring.
Networking is key.
It is, you want to build relationships with other makers, with musicians, with suppliers, with festival organizers. You never know what opportunities might come from those connections.
And when it comes to those job interviews,
Yes.
use RoleCatcher's AI to your advantage.
For sure.
Analyze those job descriptions.
Yeah.
Tailor your CV and resume to highlight the skills they're looking for. And practice your answers with their feedback system.
It's like having a secret weapon.
It is. So for our listeners who are captivated by the beauty and the sound of these instruments, this career path is a unique opportunity to combine your passion with your skills.
Absolutely.
It's a chance to create something real, something that connects people through music.
It's amazing.
And remember, every master craftsman started as a beginner. Start with that passion.
Yeah.
Nurture it with hard work. And don't be afraid to let your own voice shine through.
Beautifully said. Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground today.
We have, haven't we?
Yeah, from the artistry of shaping those materials to, like, the science of tuning a drum head. It's just amazing to me how this career blends all of those things.
Yeah, and, the cultural heritage aspect of it.
Right.
It's really interesting, too.
Yeah, it's not just building an instrument. It's like creating these instruments that, connect people through rhythm and sound. And
they tell stories.
Right, exactly.
They have history behind them.
Yeah, and then there's also the evolution of it, where you have, these ancient instruments, but then you also have this push towards innovation. Yeah, always trying to create new sounds and new designs.
Yeah. So for our listener who's like really feeling that pull toward this craft, what are some of those key takeaways?
So I would say, first and foremost, remember the importance of passion. Like, this isn't just a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
You really have to be dedicated to the craft.
Yeah.
It has to be something you love.
Yeah, and that passion is going to keep you going when things get tough.
Exactly. And, it'll make the successes even sweeter.
For sure.
And remember, the learning never stops.
Right.
Explore those publications that RoleCatcher recommends.
Right.
Get involved in online communities. Go to workshops. Find mentors. Just keep expanding your knowledge and experimenting with new techniques.
Yeah. And networking is so important.
It is, yeah.
Building those relationships with other makers, musicians, suppliers. You never know what might come from those connections.
Exactly. You might get an apprenticeship out of it.
Right. Or a collaboration. Exactly. And then, of course, when it comes to those interviews, RoleCatcher's AI can be such a great help.
Yeah. It can really give you an edge.
Yeah. Analyze those job descriptions.
Yeah.
Tailor your CV and cover letter and
practice those answers.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like having a personal career coach right there in your pocket.
In your pocket, yeah.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up this deep dive,
yeah,
what's like that one final thought that you want to leave our listener with?
I think I would just say, remember that every master craftsman started as a beginner. So, embrace the journey. Embrace those early mistakes, the hours you spend trying to perfect a technique.
Right.
Let every challenge make you better. Every success inspire you.
I love that.
And most importantly, let the music guide you.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for this deep dive into the world of Membranophone Musical Instruments Makers.
It's been fun. It
has been fun. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
But the exploration doesn't end here. What resonates with you most? What questions are still swirling around in your mind?
Yeah.
Hold on to that curiosity. Keep seeking those answers, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.